Hello, have you ever wanted to add cool aura effects to your videos, thumbnails, animations, or whatever? This video will teach you how to create 3 aura effects from popular anime. The only requirements are having a PC with DaVinci Resolve installed, which is free. If you end up liking the tutorial, then please don't be afraid to like and subscribe, and comment. Okay, this is my guinea pig Jerry. We're going to turn him into an Esper for Mob Psycho. First things first, we're going to need to remove the background. So if you spent $300 on DaVinci, you can just go here to the Fusion page, press Shift Space, then type in Magic Mask, then apply that. But I assume most of you guys don't have $300 laying around, so what I'm going to do is go to this website that I'll provide in the link below. It'll take a little while, but it's free, and it's also from Adobe, so it probably won't give you a virus. Once you're done with that, make sure the background's green or blue so it's easier to remove. Move the slider over the image and then press Fusion to open this window. Press Shift Space, type in 3D Keyer, and then add that to the nodes window. And then connect the media in node to the yellow. Make sure it's yellow. And then connect the gray box to the media out. Now click on the eyedropper and then click on the green to remove it, and your video is now transparent. Now you can zoom in, click on the eyedropper with the plus sign, and then clean up the green bits. Then turn up the decibel meter in order to get rid of the really tiny bits. Alright, go back to your timeline and duplicate that clip we just made. Hover the slider over the second clip and then go to Fusion page. Click on the 3D Keyer and then click Invert. You should get something like this. You can turn down the decibel meter if you really want, but you don't have to. Now click on the line, press Shift Space, and add Transform. We're going to make this void bigger, so what we're going to do is move the pivot point to like the center and then turn up the size a little bit. Don't make the void too big because the aura is already going to distort it enough. Now you should probably go back into your timeline and then check with the original image to see how much bigger the void is. Don't forget to move the original image away from the slider, or else it's going to be taken to the Fusion page. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is go into the effects page, which is on the top left, and then go to templates and then type in noise distortion. Add that after the transform. And now you'll notice that the void has been distorted. That's basically what the noise distortion does. And when you mess around with the seed rate thing, then you'll notice that when you play the video, the void jiggles around now. You can turn the slider up and down to mess around with the speed. For this example, we'll just keep it to a relatively low speed. You can mess around with the other sliders to see how they affect the void. Increasing the detail slider gives it more of a rough texture, which makes it look like fire. Once again, I heavily encourage you guys to mess around with these other settings. Also, real quick, go back into 3D Keyer, open up Matte Finesse, and turn up the blur radius. This will make the aura blend into the background and make it look really nice. Once again, adjust these settings to however you please. Check again with the original image to see how well it works. Okay, so now we need the actual aura, so I'm just going to search it up on YouTube and get the first result. Yeah, don't worry, mine's not going to take 4 days. Put the aura effect underneath the blob video we made, and adjust the speed of the aura video to make sure it fits all the way. If it's outside the green screen, don't worry, all you gotta do is crop it. Now put the first transparent background video on top of this thing that we just made. You should get something like this. Now you should select all of them in the timeline, right click, and then create a new compound clip. Open this in the Fusion page, and then press Shift Space to add in a delta key. We're using delta key, not 3D Keyer this time. Connect it to the yellow, then connect it to the media out. Now it is frustrating to use because it keeps showing the preview before you get to, and then it just like gets the wrong color, so I had to manually put the numbers in. Hopefully they change it in the next DaVinci update, but I'm not too sure. Go back to the timeline once you're done. There's a tiny blue line at the right side, so we're gonna have to manually crop that out, but other than that, we're done. Let's drag this video on top of the original, and now we'll see. Now it does look a little weird, but that's basically how the aura worked in this show. I gave him a glowing effect after finishing the recording, and I think this looks really nice. Okay, Maxwell is gonna get a stand. So basically what we're gonna do is duplicate him, open him up in the Fusion page, and then add in the noise distortion. If you just skip to this part of the video, then go back to this timestamp and watch the noise distortion section, then come back. I'm gonna apply 2 noise distortion effects since they stack on top of each other. The first effect is gonna make him a little jiggly, and the second effect is going to make him more rough. I'm planning on having it resemble some sort of a fire. I'm going to post my settings at the very end of this section so you can copy it if you want. Now if the background can't handle your aura, then it's going to get clipped by it, so you're going to have to adjust it slightly. This is how you can easily do it. Press Shift Space to add a background node, and also add a merge node while you're at it. Once you have both of them ready, you're going to want to pay very close attention. If you hover over the yellow triangle, you'll see it says background, so you're going to want to connect your background node to that. And subsequently, you're going to want to connect the media in node to the foreground. and then connect the gray square to like the yellow, and you should be fine. Click on the background node and then select the alpha slider and turn that all the way down to 0. Go to image and adjust the width and height. You probably have auto resolution on, so you're going to want to turn that off and then you can change it. Also, if you notice, it does mess up the distortion effect, so make sure you adjust that after. Changing the resolution of the aura doesn't actually change how big the aura is, but there's no need to worry. There's a really easy fix. So all you want to do is drag the original image on top of it and then select the aura and then zoom, and you should have something like this. Now the final touch, let's add some color to the aura and make it look really cool. Move the original image out of the way and then open up the Fusion page. Now all you gotta do is press shift space and then add either a color corrector or a color compressor. Spend a few minutes messing around with the settings in order to get like the colors you really want. Alright, now we're gonna add a glow effect. So just press shift space, add in a glow, connect it to the yellow, and then connect the gray square to the media out. I turned off all the colors except for green and just like adjusted the glow size. Feel free to mess around with all these other settings. I set it to merge under so it only produces a glowing light that's underneath the actual image. Then drag the original image back onto the aura to see how it looks. It looks really good, but in my opinion I think it could use one more little detail. Let's quickly enter the Fusion page with him and let's give him a glowing effect. Connect the inputs and outputs together real quick and then turn off everything except for the green light. Then this is the final result. If you made this far, please consider liking and subscribing. My goal is to reach 1,000 subs by the end of this year.
Spiderman! Man Spider!
We're going to take this Smosh clip.
Spiderman! Man Spider!
And we're going to teach Man Spider how to use cursed energy. We're going to duplicate the video and then go to the color tab. Drag the slider all the way to the start and then click this funny symbol and then click plus curve. Then click these 2 diamonds over here and we're basically just going to keyframe an outline around him. So for the first frame we're just going to do this simple shape around him. And then we're just going to drag the slider, and whenever Man Spider moves out of the circle, then we're going to have to, adjust it so it fits him. It doesn't have to be an exact outline, it just needs to cover most of the body. When he throws his punch, I'm going to change up the shape of the outline, and obviously I could have done a better job, but this is a tutorial, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Once you're done, you should get something like this. And now you can move your mouse into this window, right click, and then create add alpha output, and then drag the blue square to the alpha output. And then boom, we created a cutout. If you're satisfied with the way it looks, then just go down to the clip, right click, and then create a new compound clip. Okay, so you're going to want to duplicate this clip, then go in filters and then drag a color compressor into the first clip. We'll make the cursed energy teal color because I'm pretty sure that's just like the default. Set all of the sliders to max except for compressed luminance, keep it a little off. And you should have something like this. It is a little jank, but it's going to have to work. Anyways, for the second clip, we're going to have to turn it into a black outline. So what we're going to do is go into generators and add a solid color. Make sure it is as long as the clip above it, and change it to like a bright color that can be easily keyed out. I chose red for some reason. Duplicate the clip so that it's 2 layers, and add a color compressor on the clip on the very top. Set the color to whatever you set the background color, so I chose red, and move all the sliders to max. And on the clip that's sandwiched in between the two, you're going to have to keyframe it a bit. So first click the diamond on the very top to select all of them, and then just increase the zoom. You're trying to essentially just create a frame for the cursed energy. Try making sure most of the lines are somewhat even. Now play the video, and whenever one of the sides of the frames disappears, just like stop and adjust it however you need it. For this example, since he's coming towards the camera, I'm going to have to increase the zoom every time. Once it looks like how mine looks, then what you're going to want to do is put a color compressor in the middle one and then change it to black. Move all the sliders to max. You should have something that looks like this now. Select all 3 of these clips and then create a new compound clip. Alright, open the Fusion page and then just add either a delta or a 3D key, either one you want, and then get rid of the red. Set D-spill to max, and now move your clips together basically. You won't be able to see it right here because the background is black by default. But yeah, drag your clips up here and then change the opacities to make sure that you can actually see the character that you're trying to give cursed energy to. And once you're satisfied with it, just create a new compound clip with them. And now the last step is to distort it with, you guessed it, noise distortion. Since my character is moving, I'm going to have to keyframe it. So what I'm going to do is first set the slider all the way back, and then move the center to the center of the aura, and then click the diamond. And basically just like follow it along. It's the same thing we've done before, it's just keyframing. Also, here are the settings I use for distortion effects. I do still suggest you mess around with them by yourself, but you can use these. Also, I realized I messed up the recording. As you can see, I added a bunch of glowing effects, but realized I didn't really need them, since it covers up whoever's behind it. If you follow all the steps, then this should be your final result.
Spiderman! Man Spider!
And yeah, while it does look a little bit janky on the edges, I feel like it could easily be covered up by something cool like
Spiderman! Man Spider!
10 likes and I'll show you guys how to make. Nah, I'm just kidding. Okay, so what you gotta do is just draw these squiggly lines on Microsoft Paint. Then you gotta key them, distort them, find the frames that you actually like, duplicate them and give the bottom one like a red glow. Change the filter for a few frames to create impact frames. And at the moment of the impact, add a rumbling filter. And just search a black flash sound effect on YouTube and you should probably be able to find it. And your final result is this.
Man Spider! Man Spider!
If you found this video helpful, then please consider liking and subscribing and also commenting. Also, my previous two videos didn't really get the traction I wanted, so I'm probably not going to do the poll, and instead I'm just going to do Gojo vs Sukuna. Alright, see ya.